Well, the good news is that we are now going into module 12. We only have a few more weeks. In fact, we only have one more week of new content after this one. So that's pretty exciting. This, I think, is a fun module. It's a fun topic for a lot of people. It's about geometric figures. And now, when we say geometry, a lot of people think high school geometry class and maybe didn't really love that. But really, the ideas, the foundations, the fundamentals of geometry are built starting in the very early ages, kindergarten, first grade. We start laying those foundations there. And so this module, and then next week's module, module 13, to chapters 10 and then chapter 11, those are going to be connected in a lot of ways. Chapter 10 this week is about geometric figures. There is a lot of terminology involved this week, so just keep that in mind. And it's about you know what they mean, analyzing them, these geometric figures in all sorts of different ways and from different perspectives. Next week, when we get into chapter 11, we'll be dealing more with formulas related to those geometric figures. So let's take a look at our module 4 this week. You will see that we again are in chapter 10, module 12. There are 3 sections in the textbook that we will be discussing: 10.1, 10.2, and 10.3. You'll have your introductory video here. There are PowerPoint slides, of course, that accompany these different sections, one from each of the 3 sections. I do have a couple links that I want to point out to you. One is an isometric drawing tool. And this is fun. I mentioned this in one of the videos, but I suggest you just go in here and play around for a minute because it's about dragging and dropping these different 3-dimensional tools into this space. You can build all sorts of different figures. You can rotate them around, right? It's so good for just playing around with and trying to visualize what's happening. It'll give it's a really important skill for this work, this 3-dimensional visualization. Let me go back and show you the other one. So it's this Pattern Shapes interactive app. It allows you to play again with some of these common geometric shapes, build them, rotate them around, and again, it's great. Kids love these things too. So these are great tools for them to help with that visualization piece. Okay, back into the Blackboard. Again, I just recommend you play around with those and see how those things work. So again, there is a SmartBook assignment. You'll see the 3 sections. Fewer videos this week. 10.1 has 3 separate videos, but then 10.2 and 10.3 only have 1 each. We're not covering every single topic in those chapters, so great, fewer videos this week. That's always good. You see our discussion reflection, our homework from chapter 10, and then our competency test D. We're finishing that up this week if you've not yet completed that with your 90%. Attempt 2 is due Sunday, today that I'm posting this video. And then attempt 3 is due Tuesday this week. You'll notice competency test E, the prep is opening this week. Test E is about geometric figures and calculating things like perimeter and area and surface area and volume of common geometric figures. This will be a multiple choice test where you are required to get that 90%. Some questions may include more than one part. It might ask for perimeter and area in the same problem, so you may have to do multiple calculations per problem. Again, there will be a 40-minute time limit. You will be able to use your calculator, and I'm also going to provide you with formulas. You're going to see down here some formulas that we're going to run into in the next couple of weeks. Again, this is just preparing you for this. These formulas you will be able to access and use during that exam. A couple other notes for that test. Again, I'm just trying to prepare you in advance. Here's the practice test. Some of the calculations involve the number pi, and you'll see here in bold, we're going to use the rounded version, 3.14, instead of the pi button on your calculator. It'll ask you to round all of your answers to the nearest whole number, and that's how those multiple choice responses, the answers, will be presented. Make sure not to round any intermediate calculations, only round that final answer, and then you have to make sure you've got the correct unit of measurement. Again, I'm telling you this now, so as you start to go through these next couple of chapters and units and modules, you'll know the sorts of things you might need to pay attention. We'll discuss this more in the next module, but I'd like to give you a preview of this ahead of time. There are again, the practice test and then those solutions. And of course, if I scroll back up to the top, some Khan Academy practice problems. They won't cover every possible variation for these different geometric figures, but you'll find examples like find the area of a trapezoid where you can input your answer and check it, right? So just Khan Academy like you've been doing along the way. And I think that is it, right? Keep approaching these the same way. Try that practice test before you check those solutions. Again, that'll open up next week, just giving you a heads up in advance. That's it for Module 12. Have a great week, and we will talk soon.